Before we begin, I just want to show you this handout that I made for this tutorial. You can download one from the link in the description. It costs very little and it helps support me a little bit. And there's some exercises at the end that are really going to help you, and I really recommend trying them and really working at this because, as I explained in the video, it is a very important skill to have in your repertoire as kind of second nature. When I started practicing this, I saw significant improvements in my drawing. So I highly recommend practicing what I'm about to show you as often as you can. Anyway, let's get to the video. Welcome, this is Joseph, aka Zeph Draws, and today I want to go into a little bit more detail about how I go about practicing form manipulation and form generation. Now, as I said in the previous video, this is going to be your bread and butter essentially. If you want to be able to reproduce the things that you've seen, whether it be from reference on an image or from life, you are going to need to be comfortable with, even before reproducing what you've seen, you need to be comfortable with just playing around with objects. You know, when we were kids, we played with Lego, with building blocks. We may not have known what we wanted to make, but we played around with them anyway, and we were able to build things that were random. Now, this is essentially the same kind of way you should be thinking when you're drawing, right? I mean, once you have reference, obviously you can plug that in and build whatever you want. But essentially, you want to develop the skill to be able to just play with objects, as if you're just inventing random objects, and this is because you want to be comfortable with creating forms, tilting them, and kind of manipulating it in the way that you see fit. And the reason this is because we don't want to just take from reference. We don't want to just copy reference. We want to understand reference. And if you understand reference in your own way, i.e. through breaking it down into forms, you can play with it your own way. And being able to practicing form manipulation allows you to do that. So there's three ways I go about this. There's like three main operations, and that would be extrusion, adding, and subtracting. Another way of saying it would be stretching, clipping, and joining, right? And as you can see in the example that I'm doing right now, I've essentially taken 2D shapes and extended them towards a kind of vanishing point, right? And that's my way of creating forms. And through that, I'm able to create boxes, cylinders, through that process, right? And after that, I think about how I want to create more complexity, right? Remember, we're just playing around here, and we should be aiming to get really comfortable with just playing around with shapes and forms, and bringing about random forms, right? So what I'll usually do is I extrude some shape and I get some interesting form, and then I join things together, right? So as you can see, I'm joining two shapes together here, right? Like a cube and some other kind of cuboid-esque shape. It's not quite a cube, but cuboid, but it's yeah. And I join those together and I get something else, right? So right here, right, we've got like half of a cylinder, and I kind of attach that to a cube, and I create something else, right? And the thing is, many objects you see, like I said, in life are going to be like this. They're going to be some kind of combination of these operations, right? Now, the final operation, obviously, is subtraction. This one can be a bit more tricky because you have to almost be able to see through the object. And that's why these exercises are really important, because they're going to teach you some of the most important things you need to know when you're drawing, right? Being able to draw through an object, being able to tilt an object. And so you can see in this example here, I've essentially taken a piece of the cube out of this other weird looking shape. I don't know how to describe it. And what you get is something more complex, right? You get something more complex that has a bit more visual intrigue, I guess, more interest, right? So I haven't quite got to drawing anything from imagination yet. I'm not drawing a person yet. I'm not drawing a car or anything. But these are going to help me get there, right? And so I want to be, or should I say, you want to be really comfortable with these kind of things, right? You almost want it to become second nature, because this kind of skill, you do not want it holding you back when you're trying to reproduce the things that you've seen in life. So take that on board. Try out the worksheet as well, and message me. You can email me, and I can check through them, and I guess I could even do a video looking at critiquing some of your guys' work. So in the next video, I'm gonna talk about how we can use perspective to start placing objects in a space. Now, this is going to get us even closer to being able to draw what we envision in our minds. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.